Okay, so I was watching this hilarious video about someone this morning talking through being a project manager and what that must mean. I swear it was probably written from the eyes of an engineer, where they were basically saying, as a project manager, I have no idea what's actually being done in the project. And I will say that is probably totally true in most cases as a project manager. We don't necessarily have to understand what it is that's being done every single day or for every single task. It's our job to talk to you, who is the expert, to find out how long the job is going to take you, what it might cost you, what kind of tasks you feel like you need to do, so that we can then talk to everybody else around you, organize it, and make sure that it all happens. So that part was definitely true. We don't always necessarily understand the steps of the project or how to do the things themselves. But then they got into, and all I do is schedule meetings and scribble down notes that don't actually make any sense. And while this can totally seem true from the perspective of people who are working with project managers, it is our job, unfortunately, to get a lot of the right people in the right rooms at the right times to make sure that everything is getting done. So we do tend to create a lot of meetings, and we do tend to attend a lot of those meetings as well, making sure that everything is kind of coming together, the teams are in the right place, and those notes that we're taking aren't just doodles on a piece of paper. Usually we're making sure that everything that's being reported in those meetings actually makes sense. Does it align with the information that we've gotten from you before about all the things that you felt like you were going to need to do? And how are we on the progress of everything? So how is the team coming together? How are you talking about it as a team? Do you feel like you're behind? Are you feeling ahead? Is there anything that we forgot? So I'd be surprised if a lot of the project managers that are out there in the room are just doodling and putting nonsense on a piece of paper. I'm sure there are some who like to look like they're being busy, but that's not always the case. And then I think the other piece of it was just a big understanding of exactly what project managers do. And essentially, as a project manager, just to break it down really fast, it's our responsibility to make sure that the project management triangle is working in the way that it's supposed to. So there are 3 different elements to project management that are going to be key. One is time, one is budget, and one is quality. And so if you have a perfect equilateral triangle and all of those elements are working in harmony with each other, you're not having to push and pull one to create dimensionally different, basically, sides to that triangle on the other elements. But, for example, if you put a project together, it starts out as an equilateral triangle, and you start to pull the time string. Let's say you want things to get done faster. All of a sudden, something else on that triangle is going to have to shift. So then you're talking about either adding more budget or you're talking about decreasing quality. So there are definitely those elements that we are constantly assessing and looking at. And if you are working with a project manager, know that we have the best intentions at heart, and we are trying to get everything done for you in a way that doesn't totally bombard your day. The end of the video started talking about how, okay, and then at 5 o'clock I shut down as a project manager and the engineers go work all night. And that is not our intention, at least that's not my intention when I work as a project manager with any of the projects that I have. If you have any questions about project management or getting your PMP certification, I get that question a lot, all of the time. How did you get your certification and what do you recommend? Feel free to reach out to me. You can definitely put project management down in the comments below, and I'd be happy to chat with you about it and talk project management any day, anytime.